Okay, let's go on with access. Okay, last time we have seen how to the show bottom, the sorting, the criteria. Now let's try to complicate our queries a little bit. First of all, we reopen the file. As usual, okay. Create query wizard. Okay, let's create a query which lists the products and the supplier name. Obviously, in order to understand all these queries, you always must have the relations under your eyes, otherwise you will not know what we are talking about. Products and the supplier's name. So products, okay, together with the supplier name. So this time we're going to take data from two different tables. Let's see. From table products, product name. From table suppliers, company name. Okay, let's put them in a different order. Let's see if I can. Okay, company name and then product name. Next, always detail. Next, query to finish. Okay, so we are able to take data from two different tables, you can see, and they are connected correctly. So chai, chang, aniseed syrup are from exotic liquid, and this one are from New Orleans, Cajun delights, etc., etc. Let's see the structure of the table. You have to click on home if access lets you do it. My access is completely stuck. This is something which will happen for sure during the exam. No, my access is stuck. Okay, finally access is on again. Home. Okay. You can see that here you have the two tables with a relation connecting them. So access takes into consideration the relation. If for any reason this relation is not displayed, it means that access will not take the relation into account. Okay, here you have the usual list of fields. Okay, I suggest, by the way, before I do, when I read each query, to stop the video and try to do it alone. Build a query which lists the products and the supplier name only for Italian suppliers. Okay, this is, for example, something you should try to do it alone. Let's do it together. Well, I don't even change the query. I simply add to my query the supplier country here. I type as criteria Italy. You can see I type Italy without quotation, and this is wrong. This is wrong because this is text. It should be typed with quotation. But Access is so smart that when I click somewhere else, quotation appears by themselves because Access knows that this is a text field and can have only quotation criteria. Okay, run. And so now only the 5 products from Italian companies. If you don't want to display Italy, Italy, Italy because it's meaningless and redundant, you switch to design view and you just select don't show. Now, supposing that you want to save this specific query, you have to press save. Okay. Otherwise, if you close it, it will ask you whether you want to save. Okay, because we have done structural modification, so adding a field to a query is a structural modification. So I save. Okay, we will build another one next. Let's see which other task. Build a query which lists the products and the supplier name only for Italian suppliers and German suppliers. Try to do it alone. Okay, all together. Well, this is a little nasty because the English language here clashes with the logic. Well, the condition seems to be Italy and Germany. But it's not Italy and Germany because clearly there is no supplier coming from Italy and Germany. The condition here is Italy or Germany. So this is one of the few examples in which English common language conditions are written in a completely different way rather than the logical condition. So let's do it. Create query wizard, always the same. From table, product name. Let's start from suppliers. Supplier, company name and country. You again a stack. From products, product name, when it will arrive. Next, query. It's always a good idea to give it the right query's name, the one I asked at exam. Otherwise, you can change it later. I will show you right now how. So you go here, if you want to change a query name, rename. Okay. Okay, here's the list. Now switch to design view. Country, I don't want to see it. Oh, well, let's show it. Italy or Germany. Okay, can you see quotations are put automatically and or is recognized automatically as not being a country, but okay, you can see. An alternative could be noticing that here there is an or, okay, and putting thus Italy here. Germany here. Okay, it will work. However, I don't suggest you to use this technique because if you add other criteria, Access will match them line by line. So Italy will be matched with another criteria that you write here, but not with another criteria that you write here. And Germany will not be matched with another criteria that you write here. So even though this works, I don't suggest you to use it unless you want to build very complex things. Okay, so let's go back to the other one. Okay. Okay, save. Okay. Let's start learning how to put condition on dates. Build a query which lists the employees hired before 1st January 1994. Okay, let's see. So this time it has nothing to do with product, so we close it. Create. You can try to do it yourself. This is the query. Stop the video and try to do it yourself. Query wizard. From table employees, last name, first name, and hire date. Next. Query for finish. Okay, so now it's simply a matter of applying a condition, a criteria. Well, let's remember which criteria did we have. Hired before 1st of January 1994, so before 1st. You will see that Access is so intelligent that when I write 1/1/1994, he understands that it's not 1 divided by 1 divided by 1994, but since higher date it's a date field, this one probably is a date. So Access automatically put the sharp symbols in front and at end to remind you and himself that this is a date. And we have the list. I save. Remember that this operation saves things inside the database. The database is automatically saved on your disk. Build a query which lists the products which are not discontinued. You can try to do it yourself. Together. I close it. Create query wizard. from table products, product name. I need to discontinue the field. Next, next. It's, I think, query 5 probably. Finish. Okay, switch. And now which criteria do we put here? I told you this is a yes, no field, so simply type no. Pay attention that access suggests now, so if you press tab now, it will take now, but you go somewhere else with a mouse and it's no. There is no quotation because this is a yes, no field. No, it's not a text, it's a value, so it's a field with two values, yes and no. Okay, so no, it's not text, it's not no, it's one of the two values of the field. Okay. Okay, alt non discontinue the field product. So it's much better to do it like this. And I save query 5. And now let's complicate things much more. If you read that this query, build a query which lists the products with unit in stock smaller than reorder level, here the situation changes because I don't say smaller than 5, I say smaller than something else, so another field. So you have to put a criteria which involves another field. Let's see how to do it. Create query wizard. Products, product name, unit in stock, reorder level. Next, next. It should be query 6, I think. Finish. Okay, so I need to have only the ones which have unit in stock smaller than the reorder level. These are the ones for which I need to urgently call the suppliers and send me some stuff. For example, it is Queso Cabrales, which has 22 in stock and reorder level of 30. So we switch to design view. Here we have, so criteria, unit in stock smaller than, how can I say reorder level? Well, very simple, you just open the square brackets, and you type reorder. Okay, it's always a good idea to accept the suggestion, because if you try to type it yourself and you mistype just a single letter, Access will understand completely different things. So now I press tab. Okay, it means that I accept the suggestion. Okay, let's see. You have only the ones which unit in stock is smaller than reorder level, so Queso Cabrales, for example, and all the other ones. At this point, is this field necessary? No, it's not necessary. You can not show, but you can also remove it. Okay. So it means that if a field is involved in a criteria, you are not forced to put it here also, so to consider the field also for the query. You can simply consider the field only for the criteria, and that's all. Okay. So you can see it works fine. It's always a good idea to avoid exaggerating with fields. So keep the fields that are asked and are necessary. Don't put other just for fun. Because for the queries that we're doing now, there is no problem. There are simple queries. For those of you who will have to deal with summary queries, if you add other fields which are not necessary, the result will be completely different. So remain with the fields which are necessary. Okay. Now let's complicate it again. Build a query which lists the products with supplier from a country specified by the user. So here the condition is on the supplier's country as usual, but instead of being Italy, Germany, it's a country which is decided by the user when the user clicks on run. So our query is becoming interactive. Whenever the user clicks on run, the user can decide a country. Okay. So how can we make a query interactive? Well, we have a little dirty trick. Close it. we have query 6. So now we'll build query 7. Suppliers, company name, country, product name, next, query 7, finish. Switch design view. Okay, so here the condition is here. How can we tell him from a country decided by the user? We do the following trick. Open square brackets. Okay. Please tell me a country. Close square brackets. You don't necessarily have to start with please. Okay, I always start with please, so I understand immediately that this is not a field, but it's a request. Okay. So the trick is the following. I have typed something between square brackets. According to Access, whatever is between square brackets must be a field. So Access will search in the database for a field called please tell me a country, first in the table and then in the other tables. But no such field exists clearly. So it means that you have also to write here a sentence which does not correspond to a field name. If you write country, it's not correct. And what will Access do? Since Access will not find its value, Access will ask the user for a value for this field here. So let's see. I click on run, and look, Access enter parameter value, please tell me a country. I type Sweden, okay, and I get the products from Sweden. Okay. So it's not legal, it's a dirty trick which forces Access to ask something to user whenever the user clicks on run. So you're cheating Access. You're making him believe that it's a field, but since it's not a field, Access will be extremely worried and ask you. The same thing happens whenever you type something which is wrong. So if you type, for example, in the previous query, now I save, I reopen query 6. So I go here, I reopen query 6. If here you mistype reorder level and you type reorder leave, okay, so you mistype, what will happen? Access will search for field reorder leave, doesn't exist, and will ask you, so reorder leave, okay. So if you mistype if you see that Access is asking strange things to you, it's because you have mistyped something. Okay. Another observation, here you can see I used the inequality symbol. Oops, I don't want to save. While here, Italy. While here, I don't use the equality symbol. Okay. This is because the equality symbol in Access criteria is optional. If you want, you can write it like this. It's perfectly the same. Or if you want, you can remove it. Okay. Let's go on. Build a query shows the list of products names with their prices reduced by 10%. Oh, this is also something different. Here we have to modify the result. So we don't have to apply criteria, we have to modify the result. So product's name with a price is pretty easy, but when I ask reduced by 10%, you have to modify the prices. How can we do it? See? Create query wizard. If you want, you can try to use query design now. You are adult enough to try to use it, but we'll stick with query wizard. Products, product name, and unit price. Next, query 8. Okay, switch to design view. And let's see. We have to cut this thing by 10%, so multiply it by 0.9. Do you agree that applying a discount of 10% means multiplying by 0.9. Okay. So let's see how to do it. In order to do it, we'll need to create a new field. To create a new field, just go here, type the field name, so reduced price, invented by you, clearly, it's a new field. Put colon, colon is mandatory, so reduce price, colon, and now write down the mathematical formula that you're planning to use. So in this case, it's square brackets, unit price by 0.9. In this kind of mathematical formulas, I think that Access accepts only the dot, regardless of what is your decimal separator. I think. Let's see. We will see. My decimal separator. Oh, no. I changed my mind. Comma. Okay. So Access finally, until in version 2013, finally uses the decimal separator that you have set for the entire Windows system. So in my case, the comma. Okay. So very simple, name of the field, colon, and the formula that you want to apply. Okay. The formula can clearly involve other fields. Okay. And these other fields are not necessary, so you can remove them. So exactly as before, it's not necessary to put fields that you use if you don't want to display them. This field here, it's a virtual field because it doesn't exist. It is created automatically right now in this moment, and it will disappear as soon as you close the query. So let's see. Before I save, just to be sure, run. You can see all the prices have been reduced, and you can clearly see from the decimal digits. Okay, this field exists now, but as soon as I go back to design view, disappears. Well, if I am able to go back, okay. Okay, so the field is virtual and exists only when you are looking at it. Okay. Let's close it. Oops. Build a query which shows the product's name and the units that we will have in the next future. Let's stick it together. Calculated as units in stock plus units on order. Pretty easy. You can try to do it alone. Let's do it together. Where is Access here? So I close it. Create. Well, let's use query design. I think you are now experienced enough to use directly query design. You can still go on with query wizard, it's the same. Query design. For which table do we need? We need only table products. Okay. And now, which field do we need? We need product name. We need units in stock and units on order. You can see, using directly query design, it's honestly much faster. Okay. You need to create a new virtual field. I make it larger. I zoom. Future units, which is simply the sum of units in stock plus units on. Pay attention to spell them correctly, because a little here, as you can see, Access doesn't help you. A little mistake can result in something else. And we have a new field, which is the sum of these two. Again, as usual, these two are not necessary at all. Okay. You can use future units without using the other two fields. Okay. Can I save it? Yes, save. Save as name query 9. Well, since I was doing query 8, Access has correctly guessed that I would like to put query 9, but with a small q. Okay. Sometimes you have to write very complex formulas, and writing a complex formula in this tiny little square rectangle, it's boring and not user friendly. It's often much better to click here on the magic wand on the builder. So while you are here, or while you are in the criteria, depending on what you want to do, click on the magic wand here. Okay. And you have the expression builder. The expression builder gives you a larger space to write formulas. Okay. If you want, as also all the access function, access has many functions, we'll see some of them. Most of them are very similar to Excel. Some are incredibly, slightly different. I don't understand why. For example, day or DateDiff with 2F instead of 1. Okay, in any case, you can write things here. It's usually a little better. Okay, you have also all the fields that you're using. Okay, and if you want, also all the fields of the database. So if you want to take fields from other tables, so for example, if you want to sum the postal code, which doesn't make sense. Okay. Okay, when you're finished, you can press OK and you go back here. Okay. Close the query. Okay, so just use the formula bit. Now let's see a complex example. Build a query shows the list of orders with order date in 1995. So you can try to do it alone, and you will see a little somehow surprise, or better, you will have a solution, but then you will see other two possible solutions. So try to do it alone. Let's do it together. I will use query design, so you learn also that one. Orders, the list of orders simply. Okay, so I put order ID and order date. And order date must be in 1995. I guess that probably most of you have written something as larger or equal than the 1st of January 1995 and smaller or equal than the 31st of December 1995. Okay. This is a solution and in fact gives you the right solution. Okay. But there is a better one, for example, for sure, and it's between 1/1/1995 and 31 December 1995. For sure, this one is slightly better. Okay. There is, however, another solution which, for the moment, can look rather complicated to you, but for another exercise, which we'll do in the future, will be the only possible alternative. So the solution is the following. You don't use order date, so I remove this condition from order date. I leave it, but just to compare, I will remove it later. I write order year. So I build a new virtual field called order year. Order year is the year of order date. So if the order date is 15th of August 2007, order year will be 2007. How can I get it automatically? Well, if you have done the Excel course, you for sure know that there exists a function called year, which tells me this is a round parenthesis, round parenthesis, and now square brackets, order date. Okay. So year of order date extracts from order date the year. Let's see whether it works. The query is not finished. You can see it extracts 1994, then 1995, etc., etc. Okay, let's see how to. But now it's rather evident that you just type 1995 and it will work. Okay. You can remove this thing here, it's not necessary. And also, well, you can also remove here and just have the list of orders. But let's leave it. Leave also the, it's not required, but leave also the order date. Oops, in the right place. Okay. Okay, so like this, it works fine. Save, query 10 with the capital Q. Okay, you can ask me why all this effort when writing between 1st of January and 31st of December was much easier. Well, because the next exercise will be impossible to do with using the between. Let's see which one. The next exercise is this one. Modify the query, letting the user specify which is the year in the condition. If you use between, well, you cannot write something such as between 1st of January, please tell me a year. I don't think it will be accepted. And 31st of December, please tell me a year. Let's see, maybe it's accepted, I don't know. No. Access has completely misunderstood it and has taken 1st of January 2015 divided by please tell me a year. So you cannot do it, or you could ask the user to type 1st of January 1995 all by himself. But honestly, whenever a website asks me to do such a boring thing, I usually change website. Okay, so it's not very user-friendly. Instead, if you use this technique here, you can easily write, please tell me a year. So it's much more versatile using this strategy here. Okay, now it works. You can type 1994, for example, and we'll have all the orders in 1994. Imagine you are building a query for your boss. Well, if you ask your boss to type 1st of January, you will not work long in that company. Instead, if you do something like this, it's much more efficient. Save it. Okay. Build a query which shows the list of employees with their age. Okay. It is calculated as the difference in years between hire date and today. So, not their years, their age between hire date, between birth date, their age between birth date. Okay. Let's see. Try to do it alone. There is another hint here, but there are two ways to calculate it. But try to do it alone, and then we'll see it together. Okay, let's see it together. So close, create. This time, let's use the query wizard from table employees. Access as usually stuck. Okay, table employees. No, table employees. Can I choose table employees? Okay. Okay. Last name, first name, and I need birth date. I don't actually need it, you will see later. Next. Let's call it query 11. Okay. Switch design view. Okay. So their age. Access as usually stuck. But what is access doing? Is it only access is stuck? Okay. Age. Okay, there are several ways to do it. The first one, it's very approximate. It's doing like this. Now, this is an open and close parenthesis. Minus birth date. In this way, I get the difference between now and birth date in days. And I divide by 365, comma 25 because I want to be rather precise. And let's see the result. So I can have an approximate age. Approximate not only because you have decimal digits, which usually when somebody asks how old are you, you don't answer 51,74. Okay, but especially because calculating the age in this way does not correctly take into consideration leap years and all the strange situations which may happen. first remark, instead of now, you can use date. Date is the equivalent of today. Okay. Now means now, date means today, it's practically the same thing. Okay, so let's use now, however. Okay, so instead of dividing by 365,25, to have a precise difference, you can use DateDiff. DateDiff function is similar but not equal to DateDiff with 1F function in Excel. It's very ridiculous that two products of the same package have a function which is spelled slightly different and is slightly different as parameters. Since I never remember the parameters, I click on the builder and I go here, functions, built-in function, date time, and there is DateDiff. So it suggests me that DateDiff wants an interval, date 1 and date 2. But I never remember what is the interval for year. So I click here, I get the help. This is the online help, if it arrives. Come on. Okay. Interval, oh, so if I want a year, I have to set the interval as y. So DateDiff, quotation y, because it's a text. Date 1, remember, date 1 is the oldest one, so it's birthday, a birth date. Semicolon, and date 2 is now. Or if you want, you can type, this is not a 0, but it's an open and close parenthesis. You can type date, which means today. Okay. Okay, so the difference in years from birthday to now. It's very frequent mistake, it's inverting now with birth date. It's not a severe mistake, but it's still a small mistake. So if you see that age is negative, please invert them. Don't put a minus in front, it's ridiculous. Okay, so my ages are, oh, my people are rather old, I can see. Okay. And now, after 3 hours, maybe we manage to go back to design view. Maybe. Okay, in the meantime, let's talk about other things. There are 2 ways to calculate it. Okay. Let's see another query. And try to do it alone. Build a query which shows the list of employees with a date, and I remind you, date, when they will have exactly 25 years of work experience. Or when they had exactly 25 years of work experience. So we can celebrate. There exists function DateAdd, which is able to add something to a date. Try to do it alone. Try to discover alone how to use function DateAdd. Okay. In the meantime, I try to unstack my access. Oh, finally. Okay, we do it together now. Create query wizard from table employees. Last name, first name, hire date, next, query 12, I switch to design view, okay, and now, a new field, oops, 25 years, let's call it 25 years, or better, 25 years date. Okay. I suggested you to use function DateAdd. I don't remember, as usual, how DateAdd works, so I look at the builder, function, built-in function, date time, DateAdd, interval, number, date. So interval is what you're trying to add. In this case, years, but you may want to add weeks, months, milliseconds, whatever. Number, how many years you want to add. in this case 25, and date, to which date are you trying to add something. So I'm trying to add 25 number years interval to hire date. So year, semicolon, 25, semicolon, to hire date. So very simply, it's like this. So function DateAdd works as follows. It's the opposite of DateDiff in practice. Instead of calculating the difference between two dates, it takes a date and moves it forward in the future, in this case by 25 years. If you want to move backwards in the past, you just put a minus symbol, obviously. Unfortunately, such a function is not present in Excel. Okay. In Excel, in order to move forward, we use function, we use simply add days, okay. Or we build we work with a difficult function date, year, month, day, etc., etc. Okay, let's see. And you can see, hired on the 1st of May 1987, on the 1st of May 2070, we'll celebrate 25 years of work. Okay. Last two topics. Okay, we are here. Last two topics, the operators like. The operator like, it's designed to make an equality which is only approximated. So if you use the equal, or if you don't specify nothing, it means that the equality must be perfect, usually for numbers or for precise text like Italy. If you use the operator like, so instead of equal you put like, you can make approximate equalities. Let's see how. Build a query which shows the list of customers, company names, cities, and countries, from countries starting with F. So suppose I don't want only France, but I want France, Finland, and all the countries starting with F. Okay. So how can I do it? Let's see. First of all, I close it. Yes, I want to see it. Create query wizard. Customers, did we say customers? Customers. Table, customers, company name, city, country, next, query. It was 13, finish. Okay, so all the countries have been selected. I switch design view. And now here as a condition, if I put equal F, well, it will not work, obviously, even if I put F, because no count is equal to F, but I can put like, okay, open quotation, F, asterisk. So the like operator gives you the possibility to use the asterisk. Well, while if you type simply equal F asterisk or F asterisk, Access will specifically look for a country called F asterisk, which doesn't exist. If you use like, Access interprets the asterisk as any characters. So it can be no character at all, one character, or several characters. Doesn't matter which one. Spaces included. So F followed by anything. That's it. In fact, it's France and Finland. We have no other country starting with F here. Okay. It can be useful also when you forget how to spell something. For example, suppose you forget whether Finland goes with one F or two F. Okay. You can type equal phi asterisk land. Okay. This will match Finland with one F, Finland with two F, also Finland, and also phi blah 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 land. Obviously, we have only Finland here. Let's see a similar example. Build a query which shows the list of products which look like tofu, tofu, tafu, tifu. Supposing that you remember there was a product with T and F, 4 letters, but you don't actually remember the vowels intermediate, maybe tofu, tafu, tifu, tofu, tufi. So how can you find it? Well, you can use a search criteria using like. Let's see how. So I close it. I build query 14 in query design. So product name. I don't need any other thing. Criteria like quotation T question mark F question mark. The question mark, if you use it inside like expression, means any character singular, so any one character. So it will match tofu, tafu, tifu, also tf. Let's see. Tofu. Okay. Okay. Here we end with the second video on access.